Simon Whitfield, closest to us, wearing number 1, and he loves the athletic run into the water. Talked to him a couple days before, and he said the longer the run in, the better for him. He's been swimming great, but he's a very athletic man and can get the legs up there. You can see the surf starting to hit the thighs of the athletes as they go very quickly through the opening stages, and Vladimir Polikarpenko pushing the pace. Colin Jenkins from Canada sitting just on to his feet. Paul Tischler and Simon Whitfield into that group as well, and you can see how tightly bunched the men are. Kyle Jones just coming through there. Terenzo Bozani from New Zealand as well. The men very tightly bunched as they come through. Sean Bechtel just going back, and as we go through the second loop of this 1,500 meter swim, the chop really starting to take its toll as these guys are trying just to look up and see anything with the small 1 and 2 foot surf. Colin Jenkins out of the water first from Canada. Just behind him you can see the very talented Vladimir Polikarpenko. The Russians are coming, and that means Brukhankov, the young 20-year-old superstar, just coming out of the water a few seconds back, already out of the swim goggles. Paul Tischler with a great swim. Simon Whitfield into that bunch as well. And a long 400-meter run across the pavement to get to the bikes. A group of about 7 or 8 men look like they may be in a position to make a breakaway. There's Brukhankov trying to get into this bunch. Jenkins out. Whitfield trying to have a quick transition. Number 1 on the man who's got 9 World Cup wins. In fact, he started his international career here in Cancun in 1995 as a junior. And Paul Tischler, the man who had an 8th place finish at the Commonwealth Games just over a year ago, a part of this breakaway. And you can just hear the wind right now. It is howling into the faces of these men, and the heat and humidity that we thought would be the worst factor, it's going to be the wind here today, and that really blew the women's race apart. Jenkins from Canada has come here specifically to help Simon Whitfield as we take a look, and as they start to come around, the crowd has come out and stayed through. Almost 1,000 plus age groupers racing over the weekend here in what has been a traditional triathlon venue over the many years. 4 or 5 Canadians into the lead group, and they are well established. The Russians have, I think, 3 or 4 into the bunch as well. A total of 15 men into this breakaway. One of the young Croatians into that group, Zonko Kubrick into there. The Brazilian man, Colucci, who's a tremendous talent, back to the main chase group. And Bevan Doherty, Jared Shoemaker into that bunch, Chris Gimmel as well. And the battle that we anticipated between Whitfield, Doherty, and Gimmel not going to materialize today because Whitfield is almost 1 minute 30 seconds up the road. And as they get ready to head out on to the start of their 4-lap 10-kilometer run, there's only 2 or 3 men I think that can go the pace with Whitfield today, and one of them right there, Colucci. Brukhankov will see if the 20-year-old can sustain the pace of the 32-year-old Olympic gold medalist. Simon Whitfield in the Canadian red as he gets ready to head out. 9 World Cup wins. Can he make it number 10? He's going to be about 10th out of the transition zone, so he'll have to make up a bit of time. And they are going to have an almost 2-minute gap. Brent McMahon from Canada pushing the pace very quickly. He was the silver medalist at the Pan American Games, and here comes his teammate Whitfield up the side. Colucci, the much taller man with the white cap, just behind in 2nd place. And a large group of athletes still very tightly bunched together. The man who gets the job done every year, it seems, in Cancun is Vladimir Polikarpenko, who is sitting in the top 4 or 5. Colucci pushing the pace. Brukhankov, that's Samuel Perclode in the light blue right there, and he's had top 10s in the past. The Russians have shown a different man in most of the season, and another Russian leading right now with Whitfield just sitting on his shoulder. You can hear the footsteps of the men. Tischler into that bunch. So 3 Canadians with Brent McMahon, Simon Whitfield. And the old veteran Simon Whitfield will win World Cup race number 10. His teammate Paul Tischler, his best ever performance in 2nd. 3rd across the line, Vladimir Polikarpenko. And there comes Brent McMahon across in 4th place. What a day for Canada.
Yeah, it was great. We just had a good group. I came here with kind of limited fitness, so I just kind of conserved as much as I could. We had a good group of like pushing away, and a lot of Canadians in there. That was exciting. So it was fun to have 3 Canadians in the top 4. That's a great sign. Oh, it's exciting. It's the evolution of where we're trying to get to. You know, I've been here to Cancun. This is my well, it was 12 years ago that I was first here. So 12 years ago by myself, and then now with the team that's placed in. It's very exciting for Canada.
I feel amazing. I had one of the worst races of my life in Beijing. I was just about last out of the water. one of the only guys to not make the pack, and then just kind of jog through the run. It was really devastating for me to have such a bad race the year before the Olympics, one of our Olympic qualifiers. So I found some great motivation in the last 6 or 7 weeks of training. I was really plugging away, and I lost a little weight, took 3 kilos off, and today I came out firing. I had one of those days where physically or 100%.
I'm really satisfied today. Today I'm again in the podium, so for me it's very important because it's like 20 seconds during all my life. I mean, podium.
The first time Canada's ever had 2 men on the podium, Simon Whitfield, Paul Tischler, and there is Vladimir Porlikopinko rounding out the top 3.